Territory Football Association's grand final between Banks and Pints at Darwin's Gardens Oval. The NTFA is now in only its second season. It was formed in 1982-83 out of the old C-grade NTFL competition when additional Australian rules clubs were developed in Katherine, Jabiru and Southern Districts, which is the Darwin rural area. This season the NTFA has been expanded to an 8-club competition with the admission of the RSL club. Apart from today's grand finalists, the other Darwin-based clubs, East Darwin and Services, make up the 8-team competition. The inaugural NTFA Premiership was won last year by Katherine. They defeated Pints narrowly in last season's grand final. Today, Pints have the chance to atone for that defeat. Pints, the side with the green and gold Guernseys, are coached by Didge McDonald and have an almost fairy tale run in recent weeks to make today's playoff. They defeated East Darwin to sneak into the Final Four and then confounded the critics with an impressive win over reigning premiers Katherine in the first semi-final. Last Sunday, they dished out a football listen to RSL in the preliminary final and must be confident about their prospects this afternoon. Banks are the minor premiers. Coached by former Norwood star Mike Poulter, the Banks side has been largely responsible for raising the NTFA status from its C-grade tag to an alternative competition in its own right. Banks are the team in the blue and white Guernseys today. Banks have only lost one match this season, and that was, ominously perhaps, against today's opponents, Pints, early in the season. On that occasion, Pints kicked a goal after the siren to snatch the narrowest of victories. With both sides virtually at full strength today, this match should be a very even tussle, with Banks starting slight favourites. And now, with details of weather conditions and to have a look at the toss and which end the sides are going to kick to, it's a very good afternoon to a high-flying eagle, Patrick Leverance.
Thanks very much, Murray. Yeah, it's a good afternoon for footy this afternoon here. Almost perfect conditions, as was early in the day yesterday in the other games there. But I don't think they can ask for anything better. It's a little bit humid down here this afternoon, but all these players here should be able to handle the conditions quite well, because most of them have played a full season here and have been up here for quite a few years. In the Pint side, good players to watch is Ray Buckley, Russell Smith. Both these players, although they're over age a bit, they came down to Melbourne in the Super Rules Carnival, and both incidentally got all Australian Guernseys in the Super Rules Carnival, and they had to contest against some very good footballers from other states, and of course their coach, Pines. For Banks, they've got quite a few good players and well-known players, like Dave Arnold, for instance. I think he'll be playing centre today, I think, and he's going to take a lot of watching. Glenn Waitman, Murphy, fellas like that, they're all going to be hard to contain, and as you said before, they've only been beaten once this season, so they're going into it with confidence. But as we know, confidence has been known to be knocked on the head over the weekend, and who knows, it may happen today. But I'm going to stick with the strength and the team that's got the form on the board. I'm going for Banks today to win this game. The umpires today, I think, are Wally Major's one, isn't he, Murray?
Yeah, Wally Major and Alan Perrin are the central umpires, Paddy, and on the boundaries we have Lynn Bradshaw and Adrian Wellington. Of course, Adrian Wellington needs no introduction to Northern Territory sports fans, being one of the very fine marathon runners in recent years, and the other night, incidentally, I was driving the football and there was Adrian having a little training run again. He never stops training, and great inspiration, I think, to young people. Adrian Wellington, a great runner. In goals we have Graham Gillette and Ian Butterworth, and of course Ian Butterworth, another well-known sportsman around Darwin, as of course are all the umpires, but in particular these fellows are multi-sportsmen. They play a number of sports around the time, and it's great to see them getting involved in the umpiring, because umpiring probably one of the most difficult jobs to do in Darwin sport.
Yes, you can't. Doesn't matter what you do if you're an umpire, you can't win. But
you're only half right, aren't you?
you got to have them. Toss went. Banks are going up the ground, I think it is, and Pints down towards the city end of the oval.
And on the screen, of course, that's to the right-hand side for Pints, the green and gold side, and the left-hand side of your screen, the blue and white side, as Alan Perrin about to bounce the ball, and Saundry and Buckley to do battle at the bounce down. Buckley's got the front position, but Saundry got the tap, and away go the Banks side into attack. Plenty of scrambling there, good hand pass out of defence. and umpire Major playing the first free kick of the game, and it's going to the Banks side, and in the form of PINT, in Peter Simpson, and of course he's the centre man today for the green and goals. Big kick up and a juggling mark taken there in defence for Banks by Ross McKenzie, and he's going to go short looking for teammate Glenn Whiteman, and Whiteman takes the mark in the centre of the ground, and away go Banks into attack. Going to go long with the ball. Didge McDonald from behind doesn't punch the ball away, taken by his Banks marksman. Good quick kick in, only to see in defence Greg Leach take the mark for the Pints side.
There goes Leach's kick down to the half-back position. Under it is, over the top comes the Pints player, the centreman I think it was, in Terry Schultz. He kicks the ball over onto the wing, comes off hands. Pints player barreled by the Banks player. Terry Morgan gets his kick there. He goes in looking for the leading player down the ground. A teammate takes a great falling mark on his, sliding on his stomach, and he'll put it well into attack. There it goes down looking for the big man. Russell Smith's down there. Nobody can grab it. Yes, they can. The umpires decided to pay Mike Crawford, who is going to have a shot for goal, which should register Pints' first score for the game. There it goes off the boot's gone right across the ground, marked by the Banks back pocket player, and he will take a kick from the back pocket. Robert Maslin it is. There he goes, hugging the boundary line, puts it right up in the air. They all fly up, comes off hands, and the Pints player in Terry Morgan kicks it in looking for a teammate, but it's punched away. Good defence by Banks. Banks have got the run of the ball, picks it up, but he gets too long getting rid of it, and he gets caught. Umpire Major has no hesitation in giving the kick to Paul Allen. It is. He goes a left foot kick straight down into the forward line. Russell Smith comes over the top, can't control it, hand passed out by Banks. Good defence by Banks at present. They're getting plenty of pressure. The ball smothered by Rob Nasida. Over the ball is the Nasida again, but he can't control it. Umpire Major comes in and says, leave it to me, fellas, I will bounce the ball on the half forward flank for Pints, who have been in attack for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Doing all the attacking as Buckley gates the front position against Saundry, but Saundry outmanoeuvres him this occasion, ducking his head badly then, and must be penalised. The Pints player, very poor play by Simpson. He tried to duck his head, and umpire Major quite correct. Good quick kick up, and there's the Carlton medalist taking a mark and failing to capitalise in Dave Arnold. That's the player with the headband there on your screen, number 11. He's the Carlton medalist for the NTFA this season, but certainly didn't play like one there. As the Banks side gets the knock away through the agency then of Alex Saundry, is dominating the ruck early in the stage, kicked away quickly by Malcolm Richardson. Punch on now in the direction there of Jack Juniper. Jumping Jack can't handle it, and there's been a free kick awarded to the Pine side there, and it's been taken by Greg Leach in defence. Looking over here for Terry Schultz, and Schultz, under lots of pressure, has taken a good strong mark for his side on the wing, and neither side yet scored in this opening 5 minutes. Very tough fought game in the grand final of the NTFA 1983-84. Stacks on the mill in the centre of the ground, and umpire Major coming in to bounce the ball, and we'll have a restart right in front of the commentary position. Both sides very keen to get an early ascendancy as Saundry and Buckley do battle. Big knock away by Buckley in the direction of his teammate. Tackle very strongly again, Gordon Clark, and beautiful pass, if you could call
Crawford,
it that,
I think it is.
has found his teammate Mick Cornford, the big policeman at full forward, who's made such a great difference to the Pints attack in recent weeks. Cornford's kick made the distance okay, and the distance and the accuracy are there, and that's the first score on the board. First blood to Pints. They now lead one straight goal, 6 points to Banks yet to score in the opening 5 minutes of the 83-84 NTFA Grand Final. Second quarter about to commence in the 1983-84 NTFA Grand Final. Umpire Major bounces the ball, goes the direction of Pints, knocked away by Arnold. Arnold for Banks can't pick the ball up, and Pints get through Ditch McDonald. A good hand pass and a kick out onto the half, onto the wing, as beaten the Pints player Ron Saint over the line, and umpire Wellington throws the ball in. Saundry and Buckley doing battle. Goes to Arnold for Banks. Banks in the blue and white, kicking to the right side of your screen, which is the Darwin end of the ground. Charging through there was Peter Simpson for Pints, will take the free kick. Good kick down to centre half forward. Oh, fell for the 3-card trick and let the ball go when he was called by Brayley, and Brayley will relieve for Banks. Bad talking there by the Pint side. The ball goes back to Simpson, drops the sitter. Play on. Plenty of body work there. Coming clear of the Pints defence, but they're in plenty of trouble. Good hand pass under pressure. Fine pass to Cornford, who was flattened after he marked the ball.
Oh boy, that hurt.
Didn't it ever? But Cornford, big and strong, and will get 15 metres for mucking around. The player on the mark who dished out that bank was Leon Brayley, big tough centre half back for Banks. They're the blue and white side with the blue V, and they're leading 3-3-21 to Pints 1-1, but Pints kicking to the high school end of the ground, which has been the scoring end. Big kick by Cornford, and it's through. Oh, great kick, Cornford. And that's a very, very important 15-metre penalty, Paddy.
Yeah, but a good bit of work by Russell Smith down there in the square too. Did you see him? He was watching the ball. The minute it got close enough for him to shepherd it, he gave the bloke a good side bump and just kept his hand away from the ball. The other bloke come over the top, but it was too late.
Doesn't it demonstrate how bad discipline can cost games? But that 15-metre penalty, was no way in the world Cornford could have scored from where the kick was given. But the 15-metre penalty made all the difference as umpire Alan Perrin comes in to recommence proceedings. Banks 3-3, Pints 2-1. Buckley, big knock down to his rover. Clever play by Pints, and into attack they go again. Can they get out of Cornford in there doing battle? Burst out of the pack. Banks defence led by Ashley Johns, but it's a poor kick by Johns out on the full. And Pints now a big chance to go into attack through the agency of Alan Jarrett with the ball. Gets very close to the man on his mark, but it's a good kick to centre half forward. Going high there was Mark Case of the centre half forward, the red-headed bloke. Can't mark the ball, but a free kick going the way of Pints, taken by Saint. Long kick down to full forward. No one can mark. Bursting through, the Pints player dropped it when tackled. Play on. Banks defender soccering it away, and it's going to be a throw-in left full forward for Pints, doing all the attacking in the opening minutes of the second term of the grand final NTFA 83-84.
Saundry in opposition to Russell Smith, and over the top comes Saundry. He gets it down on the ground, socket off the ground by the Banks defence, picked up by Tim Alvey. He turns around and kicks it out of bounds, and will be the relieving kick will be taken by Banks through the agency of Keith Wilkie in the back pocket. There goes his kick, going short, looking for a teammate, puts it on his chest and takes a great falling mark in Ross McKenzie. McKenzie turns around, looking for a lead. No one wants to lead for him, so he just kicks long and finds a teammate. Good mark by his teammate in Alex Saundry, the ruckman. He turns around and kicks inboard. That's the way you want to go, Banks. Back towards centre. Arnold under it, punched away. Picked up by Jack Juniper. Hand passes over the top to a teammate, but McDonald, the Pints coach, turns around, does a beautiful back turn and balks a hand pass and bang, hits Russell Smith on the chest at centre half forward. There goes Smith kicking over onto the half forward flank looking for a teammate, and he gets him. Good mark by Rob Nasita. And he will no doubt put it in long and high because there's plenty of tall timber. There goes his kick, looking for a teammate. He hasn't found him. Punched away by the Banks defence. Picked up and hand passed over to Dave Arnold. He turns around, goes over looking for the wingman over his teammate, the wingman in Peter Baldock, and he takes a mark. Hand passes inboard to a running teammate. He can't read the play. Arnold backs up. Hand passes over the top. No, he doesn't. Changes his mind and kicks. Goes over looking for Keith Wilkie. Wilkie's running the ball. Hand passes it back in. Good stuff to John Meone. Meone can't control the ball, but he gets a push in the back and will take a free kick on the true half-forward flank position. Looking for a teammate. No leads coming, so he just goes long. Banks are not leading when they got the ball. Comes down off hands. Glenn Waitman gets the ball on the ground. Now his teammate picks it up and kicks it inboard, and who does he find? Peter Baldock. He can't control the ball. McDonald gets him, but he hand passes inboard to Mike Keneally, bang, and hits the post.
Oh, Michael, what have you done?
Boy, he's having a hard day. He's having an unlucky day today, and anybody can kick points or goals, but I think you ought to get 10 points for hitting the post.
Buckley's starting to get on top of Saundry, but it's picked up by Arnold, but his kicking's really letting him down. It's come out in the wing, Lux of Fortune, lands in the arms of his teammate there in Ashley Johns, Johns' kick is intercepted. Oh, take that one.
Stretched his neck. He's got a giraffe neck, that fella. He
Poor
stretched
old
to the
Trevor
foot.
Durden is just about... he's the giraffe of the football field, as Mike Kalili gave him what have you. Our long torpedo punt kick's not marked by anyone. Simpson's in the van for pints. Oh, copped that, Peter Simpson, and I think he's got a charity free kick from Wally. Reckons it was a bit rough because it looked fair enough to me. Peter Simpson in plenty of trouble. Playing a great game for pints in the centre, by the way. Simpson, as he goes long with the torpedo punt kick. Big pack flies. Once again picked up the Banks full back there in Leon Brayley, trapped with the ball. His hand pass has gone astray. Picked up once again by Mick Cornford, but his shot for goal is offline. One behind the resulting score, and Banks move along to Pints move along to 2 goals 3. Banks 4-5. Handy advantage of 14 points. Here we go. Second half of the NTFA Grand Final for 83-84 about to commence. Umpire Perrin bounces the ball. Big pack of players. Saundry takes the ball for Banks, and away he goes. Picked up by Pints, however, through the agency there of Mark Case of the centre half forward. Going forwards, Banks in plenty of scoring potential here. Whizzed away there by the Pints player, but it's poor old kick, intercepted once again. Strong defence by the Banks players, but the ball will be finally marked by Terry Morgan for Pints from a poor kick out of defence, and Morgan with a great chance of kicking a goal in the first 30 seconds of play for Pints, who are trailing 3-4 to 5-7, but the kick's offline, one behind only, and Pints move along to 3 goals 5-23, Banks 5-7-37, and the favourites holding a handy 2-goal advantage. Here comes the kick in. Big kick in. Saundry can't mark the ball from behind. Stacks on the mill. Big pack of players. Umpire Major will bounce the ball right half forward for Pints as Buckley comes in. Here comes Arnold, the Carlton medalist, with the headband. Buckley in the front position, bundles Saundry out of the way, goes straight to his teammate there in Case. A poor hand pass. Casey tries to redeem himself, gets a hand pass out to Alan Jarrett. Kick up in the ground. Ooh, solid body work there. Strong mark taken by Terry Morgan.
And 15 yards.
15 metre. Well, that's a big advantage for Pints Morgan. He's a chance here to score a goal, and this will put them within 8 points if he can do the job. And of course, Pints Paddy kicking into the Darwin end. That's to the right side of the screen. He's missed line. Bad kick.
Oh,
badness.
We'll have to improve the kicking in situations like that, Murray, because that's where you kick yourself out of a game when you've got an opportunity like that. As the full-back for Banks prepares to kick out over the... Juniper comes over this side, but he elects to go to the other side of the ground, looking for Saundry. Off hands, picked up by Pints. Taps it in front of him, does the Pints player. Grabbed by the Banks player while he's in possession. The umpire runs over and says, leave it to me. I'll bounce it up on the true full forward flank position on the far side of the ground. Umpire Major to bounce the ball. Buckley and Saundry. Saundry outmanoeuvres Buckley. Good play, Saundry, but it goes off the boot and goes out of bounds on the full, and straight away the Pints player picks the ball up. Here comes the lead. Big Cornford from full forward comes right out. Up he goes, and taken off out of his hands by a Banks player, thrown over the top, and now umpire Major says we have a... he sent a player off. Sending Ray Buckley off the ground. My goodness, what was that for? He just indicated that he's off the ground. The other player, Saundry, I think his opposition player, is down and doubled over on the ground, and Ray Buckley has paid the penalty for over-exuberance out there on the football field. There goes the clearing kick for Banks, right down on the ground. Good penetrating kick, good mark, but it's not paid. Comes off hands, picked up by the Pints defence. But the umpire says that you pushed him in the back, and the Banks player and Malcolm Richardson will take the kick right at the centre of the ground. Malcolm Richardson, ex-Wanderers player. There goes his long kick right down into the forward lines, but Didge McDonald, the Pints coach, once again saves for his team. Clears out, can't see anyone there, so kicks it to the open spaces, hoping the runners will get it. Oh, good umpiring. Alan Jarrett never had the ball. He was tackled. He wants to play on, but the umpire says it was a penalty, and you'll come back and take your kick as he gets a bit of the treatment from the Banks player in Robert Maslin, which was quite unnecessary because Jarrett was going for the ball. There goes his kick. Good kick, Jarrett. Oh boy, is Pint starting to settle light now. And Kaisler it is who took that good mark in the pack. There goes his kick right down to the forward lines. Once again, it's a point, and that takes Pints on to 3-7, which, they've caught up with the points now, Murray. Maybe they can catch up with the goals after this.
Sad blow.
5-minute mark of the third term. Banks 5-7, Pints 3-7. 2 goals the difference as the fullback for Banks comes straight out down the ground. Punched away by Peter Simpson, I think it is. Yes, he punched it away, but it's picked up by Jack Juniper. He clears out to the wing, picked up by a teammate. Hand passes inboard to a running play. He kicks it to Dave Arnold. Arnold turns around and plays straight on, kicks it down the ground, but it's all Pints down there. The Pints player in Link Mundy, I think it is it was camped under the ball and takes a good mark, good saving mark for the team. Not much direction in the kick there from Dave Arnold. There goes Mundy's kick right over in front of the scoreboard. Up go the players in Peter Baldock. Comes off hands. Didge McDonald, the Pints coach, once again. Good kick by McDonald. Picked his player out right down on the half-forward flank. He turns around and plays on, but it's gone to Banks. Banks scoops it up. Juniper it was. Scooped the ball up and kicks it long over to the wing position. And his teammate couldn't control the ball. Now it stacks on the ball, stacks on the middle. That's picked up by Banks. He turns around at the player, I think it was in Frank Fells, and he turns around. No, he's got a free kick. And Simon Day it is, and he'll take a kick for Banks. Goes inboard to Arnold, but it's too high, and Terry Schultz for Pints takes a relieving kick. There goes his kick right down to the centre half forward position. Under it's Juniper. He can't control the ball, but it looks like Simpson can. He picks the ball up, turns around looking for somewhere to go, kicks it over. Oh, good play by Banks. They read the play well then and smothered the ball that was being passed down the ground. Now it stacks on the middle, and the umpire says, give it to me and I'll bounce it up. Umpire Major's going to have a bounce over on the far side of the ground near the half-forward flank position.
And the first sensation of the grand final with the big ruckman Pints Buckley being sent off the ground after flattening his opposite number in Alex Saundry, and Pints are going to have a lot of trouble without Buckley dominating the ruckus. Banks come away very clearly there with the ball. The ball's picked up over there for Banks by Baldock. Good kick in, finds his teammate Whiteman, plays on quickly and cleverly looking for Saundry. He's made a good recovery, but in front the Pints player, very strong play there by the fullback in Link Mundy, and Saundry still feeling the effects of that hard knock a few moments ago. The ball comes out, Baldock in the van for Banks, hand passes back over cleverly to his teammate. A little short pass is going to find the Carlton medalist over there in Dave Arnold for Banks. He's going to go short. It's not a good pass. Oh yes it is. What am I saying? It's Meone made brilliant ground down there on the
ran into the open space
flank from the wing, and this little wingman has certainly had a fine game, Paddy Meone. He's done a lot of damage for his side.
Yes, he certainly has, and that was good play by him. And Arnold picked up the move straight away as he saw the wingman running down the ground. Got onto it a little bit too much, and it's drifted away to one side and gone through for one behind only. But it was a good kick by the John Meone, the Banks player, and that takes at about the 7.5 minute mark of the third term, it takes Banks on to 5-8. 2 Pints, 3-7. There goes the kick by Mundy, but a good mark by the Banks player in Simon Day, and takes a mark directly in front of the scoreboard on the half-forward flank. He'll no doubt go long into the... There goes his kick. Good long kick in the forward lines. Over the top comes Saundry, but it's the Pints player once again that clears the ball. Good smothering by the forward there from Banks, but through comes... Alan Jarrett turns around and kicks inboard, but it goes straight to Waitman. Waitman gets caught with the ball. Arnold taps it forward, but it goes straight back to Arnold. Beautiful pass by Arnold, and but he can't control the ball. His teammate in Neville Bowley, but now it stacks on the middle, and the umpire says, give it to me, fellas, and I'll bounce it up just near the centre half forward position directly in front of goals. And can Banks score from here? There goes the bounce. Saundry gets it down to a running teammate, but the umpire says you used your knees, and so Didge McDonald will take the relieving kick. The Pints captain coach for the side will take the relieving kick. There it goes, straight down the centre. Under it is Waitman. Over the top comes Jarrett. It can't be controlled now. Tapped out by a teammate, but Meone tries to control the ball. Gets caught. Umpire says play on. Picked up by... Mark Kaisler, given to Peter Simpson. He kicks it in front of a teammate and down the ground. The kick's relayed down the ground because Simpson got flattened after he kicked the ball, and so it puts his teammate well within scoring distance, and his teammate in Gordon Clark will take the kick, and you can see the camera directly behind it. It's not a very acute angle and should have no trouble in maybe registering Pint's fourth goal.
Paddy McKenzie lucky not to be sent off then. They just sent Buckley off for a little bit of overdue rough
Nice
play.
kick straight through the middle by Gordon Clark, I think it was. Yes, and that's made it a lot more, the score looks a lot more healthier now for Pints, and they're doing it without Big Ray Buckley, and that's at the 10-minute mark of this third term. It's Banks 5-8-38 to Pints 4-7-33, I think it is it? No, it's 31.
Must be 35, I think.
31, isn't it?
You'll be right too. Of course you're right. 4-6-24 plus 7 makes 31.
Oh, you can count. There goes the bounce of the ball. The big Pints player in Greg Leach gets it. Hand passes it, but the Banks players come on. Now it's picked up by a Pints player. He trips a Banks player but doesn't get a penalty for it. Now it stacks on the mill. Thrown out in front of him, the Pints player. And there's a Pints player there ridden into the ground, but the umpire in Wally Major says, I think you might have ducked into that one, and we'll bounce the ball over on the far side of the ground on the edge of the square. There's the bounce. Nobody can get it clear, but then breaking away is Ashley Johns. He kicks it to a teammate. Inboard to Dave Arnold. They're certainly playing through Dave Arnold. He can't control it. Didge McDonald gets a push in the back and will take a free kick and relieve the pressure. He turns around and plays straight on, runs into trouble and puts his teammate under pressure. Link Mundy gets caught too, but the umpire says you tackle him around the shoulder, and so Mundy will take the relieving kick for Pints. No, it's not Mundy, it's
Terry
the back
Schultz.
pocket player, Terry Schultz. He comes out to this side of the ground, but under it, good mark by John Meone. Definitely a mark. Oh, it was a good mark. I think he had it under control.
Don't agree, Paddy. I reckon he didn't hang on to that second bounce.
He had it under control while he was falling, I think. There goes his left foot kick straight down on the forward lines, looking for a teammate down there. Under it is Saundry, but he gets outmanoeuvred by his opposition. But through comes Keith Wilkie, soccers it off the ground, and that gives Banks another goal. And once again, they're just keeping that just enough distance away from Pints to give themselves a breathing space in this grand final. And as long as they can do that, they can hold on and go on and win this grand final, because they are playing the slightly better football. I think Pints are fumbling the ball a lot, but at the 12-minute mark, as you can see there, Banks 6-8 to Pints 4-7. And they're using Dave Arnold a lot from the centre. They'll have to stop him if they want to control this game. There goes the tap by Saundry. Through comes Ross McKenzie. He gets barreled. Now the Simon Day gets upended and gets a free kick as he turns around, picks up the ball and plays straight on. There goes his kick down the ground. And comes off hands. Link Mundy, the fullback for Pints. He reads the play well and kicks it out to a running teammate in, looked like Rob Nasida, I think. But it's Banks that intercepts once again. Good play. One bounce. Two bounces. Now he's muffed it. Now he's going to have to do something with it. Hand passes over the top to a teammate in Peter Baldock. Gives him a hot cake. Now it comes inboard, but it's picked up by Pints' defence, and he kicks it long down into the centre of the ground. Picked up by the Pints player. He gets scragged as he grabs the ball. It stacks on the mill, and umpire Wally Major says, leave it to me and I'll bounce the ball here and sort things out.
The game's certainly come alive since Buckley's send-off, and that's a feature of NTFA football. The umpires have the send-off power as the ball's bounced in the centre of the ground. Stacks on the mill, a very strong ruck play there, but I think the Pints player's going to get a free kick for over the shoulder, and the kick's going, I think...
Paul Allen, I think.
Paul Allen, is it? Yeah. Left footer. So, good kick down the centre forward in the van, Robert Mussolini, but he can't handle the ball. The ball comes off the back in the van. Ashley Johns gets a hurried kick away out into the wing. And a strong attempt at mark by Banks failed, but it's picked up cleverly. A long kick, and Banks going into attack, putting plenty of pressure on Pints, kicking towards what has been the scoring end in the game, although goals are scarce as hen's teeth this afternoon, and the windsock indicating that the wind's going across the ground, but it's certainly been to the high school. That's the left-hand side of your screen. It's been the scoring end. Banks take the ball, gets out across to Arnold. Here's a chance for Banks. The medalist had a shot. Marked on the line to a goal. It must be either.
Yes.
Goal. And Arnold, the Carlton medalist for the NTFA 1983-84, shows what it's all about. Brilliant goal. And if he hadn't kicked that goal, there would have been a few words said to his teammate. He'd muffed that one up, I can tell you.
Well, it had to be one or the other because he marked it, Murray. It was either marked before or a goal, one of the two.
And here's the interchange. Russell Smith coming on the ground of Pints, and their ruck division sadly depleted, but I haven't noticed Saundry back on the ball. He's playing at full forward, and Simon Day on the ball as Smith and Saundry do battle. Correction, Smith gets the front position but doesn't get the ball. Pints defence in plenty of trouble here. Picked up there by Baldock, having a great third term. Saundry drops what he should have taken. Link Mundy gets a hurried kick away up to his teammate. Oh, poor old attempt at mark by Pints. Desperation stakes there coming through. The defence soccers it away over onto the far side of the ground, and we'll have a throw in on the scoreboard side where Banks 7-8 lead Pints 4-7, 15 minutes into this third term. And
IG Dave Arnold's covering some ground, Murray.
Is now going high there. Russell Smith can't take the ball. Comes over to Arnold, who throws it away. Play on, says the umpire. Keneally comes in for Banks, but the Pints defence once again will force a throw in. Right half forward for the Banks side. Coming in, Simon Day having a great game on the ball at the moment, but it's snatched away there by the Pints player in Allen. Long left foot kick up to the centre of the ground, punched away by the centre forward Casler, should be in front. The ball comes back to Pints. Unfortunately has gone over the line by the looks, and the umpire will have a throw in right centre wing. No advantage for either side as Day comes down to do battle once again with Russell Smith. The ball goes Pints' way where Simpson scoops it off the ground. A poor old attempt at a left footer has rolled over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw in, and Pints desperately trying to establish some ascendancy in the forward line, but they're not looking good up forward, Paddy.
There's lacking of penetration once they get the ball down there as Pints clear the ball away. It's picked up by a teammate. Now it stacks on the mill. The Banks players smother the ball, and once again the umpire comes in and bounces the ball to relieve the congestion that's starting to develop a little bit. Desperation coming into it as Russell Smith and Saundry are opposition to one another. But Waitman hit a Pints player there. He's down. I don't think he'll move for a while. It really hurt him as the Banks player and Ross McKenzie hand passes over the top of his head. Simon Day can't control it, and we find Mark Murphy getting in the back of a Pints player, and then Nacito picks the ball up, kicks it straight down the forward line. I think he's got Cornfield, Big Mike Cornfield, I think. Here's a pass over the other side of the ground. Maybe put him under pressure. His teammate can't control the ball. Pushed in the back as they clear the ball away. It comes out to Mike Keneally. Mike Keneally can't control the ball. Got a bit of the fumbles, dodges around his opponent very smartly, and chips a short one into Dave Arnold, who takes a mark. He hand passes inboard to Waitman, I think it is. Waitman, gets ironed out, but now he comes out with the ball, drops, kicks it straight down to the forward line. The kick's been relayed down the ground, and Alex Saundry, the ruckman for Banks, will take the kick directly in front of goals through a stupid bit of play by a Pints defender. Give a free kick and a goal, practically has given a goal away when they can ill afford it. And at the Alex Saundry got dined out by Ray Buckley earlier on and having a bit of a spell at full forward. There goes his kick, drifts to one side a little bit. What's he done? He's only kicked a point, my goodness gracious me. And at about the 17.5 minute mark, Banks 7-9, 51. Pints 4-7-31 at about the 18-minute mark of the third term in this NTFA Grand Final between Banks and Pints.
It looks like Trevor Durden's going to kick the ball in here for Pints. Link Monday's kicked his leg off by the looks. Durden, beautiful kick out to the scoreboard side. No mark taken there in the van. Simon Day, who's doing all the ruck work since Saundry went off the ball. Hand passes into his teammate there in Jeffrey Clark. Good play, Banks. They're starting to look good with their teamwork. Link Mundy in the van, however, for Pints will save the day with a good strong chest mark in the last line of defence. Mundy's kick out once again to the defensive side of the ground. Good attempted mark, fails however for Banks, and that player was Ashley Johns having a bad day, but the kick finally marked by Malcolm Richardson. Strong play, Richardson. Good left foot kick into the full forward line, punched away very powerfully there by the Pints player in Greg Leach, and the resulting scrimmage and soccer off the ground. One behind, I would think, to take Banks along now to 7 goals 10, is it?
Yes,
must be 7-10, 52. Pints 4-7, 31. Goals as scarce as hen's teeth. as Mundy kicks the ball in this time. Big pack forms, punched away in the van for Banks. There is number 23 Johns, but he can't get the front position, and the Pints defence content to bundle it over the line, but they want to do something about getting goals on the board, Paddy. They're starting to slip behind here as Pints comes charging through. In front there for Banks was Peter Baldock, holding up the opposition defence, and will have a bounce down. Umpire Major about to bounce the ball. Half forward line for Banks in the blue and white, kicking to the left side of your screen. Umpire Major bounces the ball. Plenty of strong body work there. Picked up by Banks. Clever play. Oh, beautiful kick by Baldock. Down the full forward line, Saunders doing battle with Link Monday. Oh, hand passes to strong play there to Neville Bowley. And I think he's got the goal, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, powerful play by Bowles. He's under tons of pressure, and he has managed to get his foot to the ball right on the line. And I think, Paddy, that Banks are starting to look very, very strong at this stage of the game. 8-10, leading Pints 4-7. Buckley off the ground for Pints, having been set off.
I don't think maybe that's had that much difference, Murray. I think it's the running players that Banks got, the small running players. Pints have just got no one to contain them as Waitman taps it to a teammate in Jack Juniper. He kicks it long down the forward lines. Malcolm Richardson taps it over the top. Through comes another teammate, puts it on the left foot, kicks it down looking for Saundry. He's got the ball, ducks around his opponent. Easy. Good play. Goal. Good stuff, Alex Saundry. Oh, he's kicked. Oh, I could have swore the way that umpire moved then that was a goal. But once again, it's a behind, and that takes, at the 20-minute mark of the third term, takes Banks on to 8 goals 11 to Pints 4 goals 7, and I think probably a commanding lead in this grand final. Lick Mundy comes out, no, it's Durden, comes out this side of the ground to a teammate. He can't control the ball. Keith Wilkie's trying to get the ball, soccers it along in front of him, gives it to a teammate. He gets tackled very heavily. It stacks on the middle as they pull one another off the ball. Pints player just throws himself on top of the ball and makes no attempt to get out. Now it comes out. What's he going to do? Pick it up and kick it. Yes, he's done just that, and he's seen a couple of teammates down under it. Simon Day, spoiled one another. Now it's looks like Jeff Clark has got the ball. He can't control it. Peter Simpson throws himself on top of the ball. Hand passes to a teammate. There goes another running player, and Ian Palmer. He kicks it down on the forward lines. Who's there? Mike Crawford. Cornfield, can he soccer it through? But no, good play by the Banks defence in Leon Brayley. He ran the ball through to only score a behind for Pints, and that takes them on to 4 goals 8-32 to Banks 8 goals 11-59.
Had a good duel, Brayley and Cornford down there, as Brayley kicks the ball in and hits Arnold, who's starting to have a big influence on the game at centre half back, and Simpson still up at the centre of the ground. Will have to start following around a bit more as the kick goes out onto the right centre wing. Oh, great mark over there by the Pints player. I think that was Terry Schultz. Good kick in, but it's intercepted by the Banks defence. Banks starting to assert their superiority around the ground. Long kick, failed to mark by Bowley, but the free kick I think is going his way.
Free kick for pushing the back when he was going for the ball.
He's a powerful player, this Bowley. He's not frightened to charge through the packs. It's not Bowley anyway, it's Richardson. Sorry about that, Malcolm. And he's had a good influence on the game for his side too, as his kick going to land at centre half forward, looking for Baldock. Baldock can't mark. Stacks on the mill. Finally, Pints soccer it off the ground. There's an attempted opening play by Banks. There's players everywhere, as picked up by Waitman. Over to the wingman there in Meone. Meone's left foot snap at goal is offline, I would think, for one behind. And Meone has been a clear winner on his wing too, Paddy.
Yes, that's for sure. And he's also penetrating when they go into attack, Murray. That's probably one of their bigger fire-powering points is John Meone, as he runs down into the ground every chance he gets. As Banks player
Simon Day.
Who is it?
Simon Day.
Simon Day. They're going to miss him as Mike Downey for Banks comes on. As the ball's kicked out, picked up by Peter Simpson. He turns around, goes inboard looking for a mate and finds Russell Smith and hits him on the chest at centre half forward, and he gets plenty of attention from his opposition in Ashley Johns. Kicks into the man on the mark. Ashley Johns turns around, dives on the ball, stacks on the ball, hand passes it out to a teammate. Now it stacks on the mill again. Russell Smith trying to control the ball. Good hand pass, Russell Smith, to a teammate in Paul Allen. He hand passes to teammate over Nasita, was it? Robert Nasita. He can't control the ball because the Banks players converge on him, and so the umpire will bounce it almost in the true centre position of the ground there. Ruckman changing left, right and centre. Mike Downey and Russell Smith go straight to Neville Bowley. He kicks it over his head just wildly. Comes out onto the half-forward flank, but big Didge McDonald, the Pints... he tried to hit Meone as he come through. Meone gives it to Arnold. Arnold's making position, but it's too late. He's kicked the ball after the siren sounded. And so at the three-quarter time, Banks 8-12-60, Pints 4-8-32 in this Northern Territory Football Association grand final, as you can see, between Banks and Pints down at Gardens Oval. Umpire Wally Major about to bounce the ball for the start of the last term in this grand final between Banks and Pints. It's tapped away by Alex Saundry. Now he's back over the ball again, but he gets outmanoeuvred by Peter Simpson from Pints. It stacks on the mill. Simpson still trying to get the ball out. He can't, and the umpire comes in and says, "Give it to me, fellas, and I'll bounce it once again and see if we can open the game up." There goes the bounce. Saundry and Buckley's back on the ground again as Buckley gets gets an elbow in the ribs and getting his own back, and he gets a free kick in the true centre of the ground. There goes Buckley's kick. Away it goes. Big, long, torpedo punt. Under it is Banks. Two grabs at it and takes a great mark to jumping Jack Juniper as he takes a saving mark for Banks. Big, long clearing kick once again, almost back to where it started. Buckley punches the ball down onto the ground. Alex Saundry, the ruckman for Banks, hand passes it out to the running John Meone, the wingman. He turns around, steadies himself, left foot kick into centre half forward. Pints player gets bundled out there, and another one gets a push in the back, but the umpire didn't see it all, and they will bounce the ball halfway down the oval between the half forward flank and the forward pocket with Banks in attack. There goes the bounce. Good tap by Mike Downey. Taps it back over the back. Finds a teammate. He hasn't got it. Oh, holding the ball. Yes.
Has to be.
Yes. Bounced the ball as he was tackled. And the Pints defence very strong in Link Mundy, I think it was, who tackled him. There goes his kick. But under it, camped under it, is the big fella in Ross McKenzie and takes a good mark on the half-forward flank. Turns around and plays in board, bang, and hits David Arnold, the settlement, on the chest. And he will do something about it now, probably get a bit of direction in his kick. Players leading everywhere. There goes the lead, but bang, he goes to miss kicks and hits Peter Simpson, his direct opposition centreman, on the chest. He kicks it high into the air, real widowmaker. Buckley takes it out of his opponent's hands. Hand passes over the top to a running teammate. He can't control it, taps it along in front of him. Now he puts it out into the open. Hand passed over the top to Cornfield. He's over the top of the ball, breaks down the ground, gets caught and tackled, but the umpire says you didn't have the ball and you will get a free kick directly in front of the scoreboard. There goes his kick high in the air. Russell Smith trying to outmanoeuvre his opponent but gets pushed out of the way. Picked up by Banks, but it goes over the boundary line and will be thrown in the true forward pocket position on the right hand side of the oval. Cornfield in opposition to Leon Brayley. Tapped down on the... Pints player got a real heavy one there, but the umpire says stacks on the mill and let me bounce it once again, fellas, and see if we can open the game up. Can Pints score and make the game look a little bit more, make their score a little bit more respectable in this final term of the grand final down here between Banks and Pints for the Northern Territory Football Association. There goes the bounce. Russell Smith taps it, but it goes out of bounds and will be thrown in. One more boundary throw in the forward pocket position with Pints kicking towards the high school end of the ground.
5 goals would make Pints a little bit more respectable. That'll win them the premiership as Banks take the ball away quickly, but Simpson in front of his opposite number in Arnold. These two have had a great duel today. Simpson's gone short looking for the centre half forward. Cases dropped a sitter, picked up brilliantly by his teammate there in Wall. Little kick in is misdirected, and the Banks defence, I think that is Massolini, has no trouble at all taking the mark. Terrible kick straight to Simpson. Simpson's gone long for a change, down to the full forward line, flattened after he's kicked the ball, and here's a certain goal coming up for the Pint side. And
Glenn Waitman it was.
The send-off rule?
I think so, yeah. Glenn Waitman, he's been sent off. Yep.
Ground, and well, that evens it up. Buckley went off in the third term, now Waitman for the last term, and Robert Nasita, I would believe it was that had the kick. No trouble for Pints, and let's face it, Pints are kicking towards the scoring end of the ground, and the windsock probably doesn't really indicate that because it's blowing across the ground, but All the scoring's been done at the high school end of the ground. That's to the left-hand side of your screen. And Pints are kicking that way in this last term, Paddy, so we could see a very, very close finish. Pints 5-8-38, Banks 8-12-60. Umpire Perrin bounces the ball. Buckley back on the ground, takes the tap, gets it brilliantly to Simpson. He's starting to come alive in this last term. Gets a hand pass out to his teammate in Nasida, but it's gone astray. Saundry picks up, and away go Banks. Arnold's with the ball. Long kick down to the forward line, and a beautiful pass. Finds his teammate there in, what's his name? Paul Marsh, the player, interchange player. Long kick down to the fullback line, but the Pints defence equal to the task. Oh, plenty of Pints numbers out there. Ball comes out to Durden. Good long kick down here, and the centre half. Oh, another fumbled mark attempt by Casler. Paid, very lucky. Casler quickly into centre half forward. Oh, good strong mark. Play on, says the umpire. Oh, bit tough. And Meone trying to square up there with umpire Perrin. He didn't mean to hit him, I'm sure of that, as he's explained, and that was a bit tough on the Pints players, Paddy.
Yes, that's for sure. But then again, too, I think Simpson did play on. There goes his kick straight down the centre of the land. Buckley's under it. Now the Pints player doesn't know what to do with it. He gets the shakes at the last minute. Now breaking away with it is Malcolm Richardson. Kicks it in long, but who's there? I think it's Link Mundy or Trevor Durkin. It's he kicks it out to a teammate there, and Didge McDonald takes a good falling mark, and the umpire says, yes, you held it and controlled it long enough. You can have it. And his opposition in Keith Wilk is very disgusted. As McDonald hand passes it straight away, but it goes straight into the waiting arms of Mark Murphy. He hand passes to Saundry. Saundry goes down along the forward lines. Oh, good grab by the new player that's just come on in Paul Marsh. And he's within scoring distance. And if he kicks this and makes it a goal, they can just about wrap it up and take it home, I should say, because Pints, in my opinion, are not playing anywhere near enough, well enough to win the grand final from me if this is converted to a major, as Paul Marsh runs in off the boot, drifts to one side, but I think it may have come back. No, it hasn't. It's drifted away. It's only one behind. And Banks go on to 8-13-61, Pints 5-8-38 at the 7-minute mark of the final term in this association grand final. There goes the kick out. Good kick right out to centre half forward. Buckley gets it. Good mark by Ray Buckley. Good juggling mark. Good body strength and skills there by the big fella. There goes his short pass in looking for Simpson. He can't control it, but both of them have gone down from the heavy clash, him and his opponent. And now it's Stacks on the mill, and the umpire says that the Pints player was holding the ball and will give a penalty free to his opposition. I think it is in Peter Baldock, who will take the kick from the far side of the ground. No doubt put it in long as he gets a couple of leads. There goes his kick. Not as far as we thought it would go. Buckley's under it, so is Downey, but it comes off hands. Who's got the ball now? It Stacks on the mill. Now it's not, it's out in the open. Banks players trying to get control of it. And the umpire comes in, blows his whistle. I think, no, he's let it go, and now he's going to blow the whistle and bounce. So isn't it marvellous? The minute the ball gets out in the open and the player makes a yard break, the whistle goes and it's ball up.
Paddy Simpson and Meone clashed very heavily there, and Simpson hasn't got up off the ground. They can't afford to lose him. Pints, as they go back into the centre half forward position. Going high was Casler, but he can't mark the ball for Pints, and it's going to be a throw in, and Paul Simpson in plenty of trouble in the centre of the ground. Looks like a leg injury.
There he is down there. He looks like he's got a corky coming on the screen there now, Murray. They can look forward to reading. He's in a lot of trouble.
Hurried kick away into the Banks defence. Oh, there's a heavy clash there, but Banks has picked the ball up through Keith Wilkie. He can't get the kick away quickly enough, however. Baldock's trying very hard for Banks, but Pints are going to take the ball. No, it's beaten them over the line. We'll have a throw in, left half forward for Banks. 8-13 Banks, leading Pints 5-8. Very handy 23-point advantage. 10 minutes into this final term of the grand final. Hurried kick away once again there by Mackenzie. Knocked away there by the Pints defence led by Durden. He's pushed in the back and must get a free kick, and he gives Pints a chance once again to relieve the pressure, and they desperately want to get the ball down to their forward line. They've got to make up 4 quick goals. Durden's got kick goal. The ball got up before acceptances. Play on, says the umpire. No, he doesn't.
Pushed Buckley in the back. It was there.
He got 17 pushes, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, gee, Simpson's in a lot of trouble here. He's carrying one leg. I think they've seen the last of him. There goes the kick by Pints out to the side of the ground. Under it is the Pints winger. He turns around and hand passes inboard. Terrible hand pass. Puts his teammate in Rob Nacida under pressure. Picked up by Dave Arnold on the burst. Hand passes over to Richardson, I think it is. No, it's not. He tries to hand pass back inboard. Picked up by the Pints defence. And now it's anybody's ball as the umpire major says that...
Baldock's got one.
Who is it? Peter Baldock, is it? He got the free kick but held when he never had the ball. And no doubt there goes his short one inboard looking for Murphy. Is it the new player that's just come on? No, it's Ross McKenzie. He's taken a good mark about 35 or 40 yards down the ground and should have no problems whatsoever in converting this. Reasonable sort of a kick is Ross McKenzie. Goes his kick. Umpire moves to one side. Where is it? One behind only. My goodness. Fritting away chances. They could really sew this game up. But at the 10-minute mark of this last term in the grand final between Banks and Pints, Banks 8-13-61, Pints 5-8-38. There goes the kick out and right out to the half-back line. Ray Buckley's under it. Taps it forward cleverly to a teammate in Alan Jarrett. He turns around but gets tackled by his opponent there. Now it stacks on the middle. Through comes Neville Bowley. He picks the ball up and kicks it, but it goes out of bounds on the full and will be kicked. Looks like, no, he kicked it out when he was out of bounds, and so the umpire is going to throw the ball in on the true half-forward flank position.
Banks looking as though they've got a little bit more run in their legs at this stage of the game as Buckley once again doing battle with Saundry, who wins the day, but it goes Pints' way. Pints going into attack now. Punched away by the defence, coming through quickly the Banks defence. The ball comes over there looking for Massolini, but he's not equal to the task, and the ball out of bounds on the right centre wing for the Pint side, and they're kicking to the left-hand side of your screen, the high school end, and that's the scoring end, but they can't get the ball down there as finally Baldock marks. Terrible hand pass looking for Arnold. Now the ball comes back to the Pints defence. He's tackled with the ball, gets a hand pass away. The ball comes to the new player who's just come on the ground. He can't get the ball, and away go the Banks attack. Stacks on the middle at the half-forward flank, and umpire major will bounce the ball. Banks, ruckman there in Mackenzie, number 22 doing battle with Greg Leach. Neither gets a tap away, but there's a free kick going the way of Leach for being hung onto while he was trying to get the ball, and the big Pints fella is going to kick the ball, no doubt, long, straight down the centre of the ground. Pints running out of time in this grand final. It's going to lob in the centre of the ground. Saundry and Buckley had a great duel all day, football-wise and otherwise, but picked up there by Banks Murphy, down to the half-forward flank. Free kick against the Banks player, and Don Wall will relieve for Pints. Out back onto the flank. Big pack of players go off. Fine mark. Thank you very much to Murphy. And hasn't he started to really hit his straps? Big mark by the half-back flanker for Banks. Long kick into centre half forward. Pack flies, no mark taken. Away goes the Pints defence led by Wall. He runs into lots of trouble but finally gets the kick away, and he's going to find his teammate in Schultz on the half-back flank. Schultz kick into the centre of the ground looking for Buckley. Oh, pushed away there by Juniper, jumping Jack. Gets the ball and onto his left foot. Over there looking for Arnold, all by himself in the half-forward flank. Simpson's off the ground now, so Arnold's having a picnic. The ball shot into the centre half-forward, picked up there by number 9, Nacida for Banks, for Pints. Finally, the Pints defence gets away. Over there, Buckley picks it up. Good kick. Here's a chance for Pints. Picked up there over
Russell Smith.
By Russell Smith. Runs into goal, fires away.
Oh, umpire doesn't move.
Goal! Oh. Big goal for Pints. Oh, that's the way to do it. 8 goals, 13 Banks. Pints now 6 goals, 8, edging closer. 12 minutes into the last term. Paddy, can they do it?
No, I don't think so. No, they haven't got enough time, and I don't think they're playing well enough. Although you could see the experience there in Buckley and Smith, the way they worked that ball. Smith had a quick look around, had it bounce, and then put it on the boot, and the umpire never moved. Good football by Pints, but they're leaving their run too late. I think they're too far behind at about the 14-minute mark of the final. Down here between Banks and Pints in the last term. Banks 8-13-61, Pints 6-8-44. Umpire major bounces the balls. Buckley, good tap back over the top, but through bursts Mione. He can't control the ball. Picked up by Kaysler. He gets caught. No, he doesn't. The umpire says you were holding the ball to him, and so the ball is going to be bounced on the wing position on the far side of the ground. Kaysler, I think, coming down too far into the played for a centre half forward. That's why they've got no one there. Buckley, big long punch. Everybody could see what he was going to do and no one done anything about it. Picked up by Juniper. He kicks over looking for a teammate, but now it's Jarrett, I think it was, who got a roundhouse around the neck. But now Masida is trying to control the ball. He's getting a lot of attention from Banks. Gets a push in the back, nothing done about it. Pushed off the ball by Morgan for Banks. And
number 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, number
Murphy,
10.
yeah.
Murphy it was, yes. And umpire Major will bounce the ball. And look at the players crowded around the bounce of this ball as Buckley's trying to outmanoeuvre his opposition. Good play, Ray Buckley. Beautiful tap over to a teammate in Gordon Clark. He kicks it in long, but it can't be marked by Cornfield. But boy, they have no trouble, the Banks opposition in Robert Maslin in cleaning up. Turn around, John Meone takes the ball. Hand passes inboard once again to Robert Maslin, running and following his kick. He hand passes to a teammate in Brayley, I think it is. Big long kick down to the forward lines. There's no one there at the drop of the ball. And so who's going to be the fastest as the Pints player tries to shepherd off big Alexandri. Picked up by the defence from Pints. Kicked back over the top. Now they're clearing the ball out looking for somebody, but it's too late now as big Bowley, I think Neville Bowley tries to clear the ball, but now it goes over the other side of the ground in the wing position. The Pints player takes a good strong mark on the true wing position on the other side of the ground. Good play by Pints. Hand passes it to a teammate. He goes inboard looking for the half forward flank. He can't control the ball. Now it's hand passed inboard. Didge McDonald's got himself down the forward lines. Russell Smith can't read the play of the ball. Picked up by the Banks player in Leon Brayley, I think it was, to tried to clear that ball away and it's gone over the boundary line.
Free kick, I think.
No, it has too. He must have got pushed in the back. There goes his kick over towards the scoreboard. Players at the drop of the ball, they fly high. One player at the back of the reads the play well. He kicks it long down into Banks' attacking position. Players jumping themselves and throwing themselves at the ball, desperately trying to do something. Picked up by Ray Buckley, taps it out between his legs. Now it's a big long tap down the ground. But picked up by the Banks player. Hand passes inboard to a teammate in Arnold. He kicks down on the forward lines. Who's under it? The Pints player. He can't read the play. Turning around and dodging and weaving is Peter Baldock, the half-forward flanker. Kicks back inboard to a teammate. He picks the ball up. Malcolm Richardson gets onto his left foot and kicks it out to a teammate all by himself.
Here's
out
trouble.
there. Here comes another short one inboard to that. Oh, the foot. Oh, top play by that Pints defender. I'll pick him up in a minute who it was, but boy oh boy, that the big full forward was camped under the ball and all he had to do was open the sugar bag and it was good night. Alexandri, but the Pints defence came racing through and palmed the ball through for one behind, and the player concerned was Rob Nasida.
There's the kick out looking for Buckley. Powerful mark by the big ruckman, and he's been easily Pints' best, I would think, for the game, although he had a little spell on the bench. Shoots the ball out onto the wing. No mark taken there. Play on, says the umpire, coming through strongly the Banks defence. They're playing good teamwork.
Simpson's back on the ground.
Picked up by Meone. Good left foot kick, punched away by Buckley. Strong play, Buckley coming through powerfully with Simon Day back on the ground, playing on one leg. The ball to Arnold. The Carlton medalist has slammed it goal.
That's the grand final.
Good night, Dolly Grave. That's the grand final. That's the sort of play that has earned Dave Arnold the Carlton medal for the fairest and best player in the NTFA competition for 83-84. Played a great hand for his side today, and that's the 9th goal for Banks. 9-14 Banks, 68, leading Pints 6-8-44. How many goals has Arnold kicked from centre?
He's kicked 3, mate. He's kicked 3.
Oh, what a
and
great
Mick Cornford for Pints has kicked 3.
Great performance in the centre. Umpire Major coming in. Buckley hasn't given up yet, but punched away there by the Pints ruckman. They're going into attack, but picked up by Meone. He's been a fine player. Pints player picks it up in Gordon Clark, gets a hand pass, gives him player Kaysler plenty of trouble, and Kaysler's caught holding the ball by Simon Day, another fine player for Banks, although he's carrying a leg injury now. He came back after injury to play in this game and went off the ground in the 3rd term, back in the last term, and Day's long torpedo punt kick down to the centre half forward. Arnold can't mark it, bursting away the Pints defence. Hand pass out into no man's land. Picked up cleverly there by the Banks player, 20 Ashley Johns, but he couldn't control it. Stacks on the mill. Now Paul Marsh has picked the ball up, came on as an interchange player. 4 interchange players used in NTFA football. Dear me, thank you very much. No kick for that. As the ball comes up to Kaisley, he's had plenty of tension there from Jeffrey Clark, but on this occasion he's been fouled by Murphy, and Kaisley getting a kick away for centre-half forward, but he's coming a long way down for his kicks. Up to centre-half forward, picked up there for Banks by Ashley Johns, but he's thrown the ball away according to umpire Alan Perrin, and once again Pints are going to have a chance of going into attack. But by gee, they need 4 quick goals as we've got about 4 or 5 minutes of this grand final left to play. Almost into time on. There's a beautiful torpedo punt kick into the full back line. No mark taken. Coming through for Banks was Baldock. It was Meone, who has come right down from the wing. Geez, covered some ground. That Meone.
Yeah. Well, him and Dave Arnold are doing all the damage, Murray. That's why they've got them runners. They can attack and they can also cover defend.
Well, they've clearly won across the centre, Banks, through the agency of Meone. Johns has been well held, but Meone and Arnold been great winners for the Banks side. There comes the kick out. Arnold goes high with Simpson back on the ground, but it's a bit too late for Pints, I think, with Simpson. The ball's not marked at half forward. Cleared away once again there by Ross McKenzie for Banks. He's found his teammate in Jeffrey Clark. Clark out onto the wing, finds Baldock. Another strong player for Banks, one of their best. Into Arnold. No mistake, Arnold.
He's out manoeuvring everybody.
He'd just about get a game for Waratahs, wouldn't he? Arnold out to the flank, looking for Marsh. Ball beats him out of bounds, despite strong attention from Wall, from Pints. Throw in half forward. I think Banks are the premiers. Buckley's taken the ball, long hand pass. Looking for his teammate Schultz. Nowhere to go, Schultz. Hurried kick into no man's land. No mark by Simpson. Picked up by Bowley. He's been a strong player. Caught cold, thank you very much, by Simpson. He's shown courage, Paddy, getting back on the ground after that heavy knock.
Yes, there goes Simpson breaking away once again. Dodges around 2 opponents, has 1 bounce. Looks for someone to kick a do so. Just goes long down looking for Russell Smith. Smith punches it around the corner, gives it to a teammate who's just come on. He goes onto his left foot. Where's he put it? It's going to go through. It's bounced the right way. The full forward down there was too slow and it's gone through for 1 behind only. Bit of quick thinking there by the full forward. Could have got a major for Pints at that particular time, and it's a 22-minute mark of the last term in this grand final in the association football as the fullback goes out long to the other side of the ground. Meone can't control the ball. Now he can. He picks the ball up and taps it forward to a teammate. He hand passes over the top to a running teammate in Peter Baldock, but he gets out-manoeuvred. Comes back to Pints. Pints kick it inboard. Who's there? It's Kaisley, the centre-half forward. Hand passes it to a teammate. Bang! Straight through the middle does the little fella there in... I think it might have been Terry Morgan who kicked that goal. But good football in by Kaisley. He has got caught. He had players bearing down on him, fumbled the ball a couple of times and hand passed it to a teammate who dropped it onto the boot.
They've had trouble getting cohesion in their forward line through that today. I think Kaisley has been well and truly held by the Banks defence. Jumping Jack Juniper started off on him, and of course that's big help if you can't win at centre-half forward as umpire Major bounces the ball. In the van for Banks was Junking Jack, who's on the ball now, taken away by Kaisley. Hand pass to Simpson has gone astray. Mike Keneally has just come back on the ground, much to the adulation of the Banks crowd. Gets the hand pass over to his teammate and ball down to the full forward line. Strong mark by Link Monday in front of his opponent, the big ruckman Saundry. Monday goes out onto the half-back flank, the defensive side of the ground. I think they need to attack the wrong side of the other side of the ground. Pints, if there were any chance.
No
Time
chance.
Ticking away now. I think it's all over.
They haven't got Buckley's chance, Murray.
No Buckley's chance, you reckon?
No,
well, of course, Buckley being sent off in the 3rd term probably had an enormous effect on this game, I feel. Although Banks have been in charge almost from the outset. Into attack they go. Oh, good mark, thank you, by Malcolm Richardson. Strong play, Richardson. He's a strong footballer. Right foot kicking, looking for Keneally. Punched away by Schultz. And as we go into the dying minutes of this game, it's all over for season 83-84. And Banks have won the 83-84 NTFA Premiership. Mike Poulter being congratulated by an ecstatic bench from the Bank side. Great victory, well deserved. They were minor premiers. They had only lost one game throughout the season. 9 goals, 14-68, defeating PINT 7-10-52.
At times, Terry Schultz had a really good game. Link Mundy at fullback. At most of the day had control at fullback. Terry Morgan had a good game. Rob Nasita. And for Pints, that's about it. Mark Kaysler tried very hard, and also Ray Buckley had his moments, but he marred his performance by